3 of making parchment. Yesterday I stretched out the goat skin on the parchment frame and gave it a wet scrape with the lunellum and retightened it and left it overnight. Now, you may have spotted something different in this frame compared to yesterday. I actually went back to using the jute string. I found that with the green garden twine I was using, it actually seemed to rip through the holes that I'd made in the skin as I was retightening it. And I actually felt that the jute string, it has more of a grip. So I just felt more comfortable going back to using a natural string rather than a man-made product. So I restrung it all last night and gave it a really good tighten and left it overnight to dry, and this is where we are today. We're going to give it a dry scrape. Tighten the skin, try and get as much excess as you can. It does really hurt your fingers doing this. And then time to dry scrape. It's the same as yesterday, start from the top, work your way down. It does feel a lot different actually to the wet scrape. There's still, this is the flesh side again, there's still gunk coming off. Makes quite a nice noise though, a nice ringing sound when you get to the rhythm of it. If you do snag your blade when you're scraping down, just try and come at it from all the other angles to kind of smooth that dent out, so your blade won't snag on it again and go all the way through, which is what you really don't want. And then when you've done enough scraping for the day, retighten it again and leave it. So I've left the parchment for 2 days and we're back again with the lunellum, and also today we're going to be using the cuttlefish. So it feels lovely and taut again, which is encouraging. But look what I did. I nicked the skin. I went through with the blade. Nothing I can do about it. Luckily it's in the corner. It's a bit annoying, but there you go. So this is the last dry scrape. This is the flesh side, and there is still stuff coming off the flesh side. It does feel really satisfying to do this though, when you can actually see the stuff that's coming off. Now it's time to use the cuttlefish. Use it in a circular motion, rubbing all over the surface of the skin, not forgetting the outer areas. There's a lot of dust that comes off here. But it does really smooth the surface down, and then you can feel with your hand any areas that you need to go over. And then the last thing to do today is we're going to dampen the skin with a wet cloth on both sides, and that's going to allow us to give a really good final retightening. Normal sponge in a bucket of water, just wipe it all over, make sure it all soaks in. And you can see immediately how the skin loses its tension, but then that's good because it means it gives you something to work with when you're retightening it. I could really feel the difference this time in how much extra slack there was and how much I could get that extra length to retighten. But then look, oh, this happened so many times. I mean, it's fine because, you know, I can just stick another hole in and sort of attach a piece of string however I need to. But it is annoying. But look, you can see how much extra string I've got there from that retightening when it was wet. And it has that lovely taut surface again. And then I did it again, just to make sure. And then leave it to dry again, leave it to dry out. I left mine in the shed. So then, for a recap, I stretched the skin, gave it a dry scrape, and then left it for a couple of days. Then I went back to the skin, gave it another dry scrape, and rubbed it down with the cuttlefish. Then re-wet the parchment and gave it one last final good stretch. So I'm leaving it now for 2 to 3 days to dry out again. In the next instalment will be the sanding down of the skin to give it a really nice finish. Please do join me for that. Thank you.